Dear student, at this point, it is important to get familiar with few basic supply chain terms and concepts. These concepts may help us to improve our understanding about the supply chain. Concept number one. When we go along, we will often use the term upstream supply chain members and downstream supply chain members. Stream means river or any channel through which water flows. And we know water flows from up to downward due to a gravity. Similarly, material in the supply chain primarily flows from supplier to customers. Here we have made the same channel vertically with supplier at the top and customer at the bottom, and material flows from upstream to the downstream. Now the question is, which member will be considered upstream and which member will be considered downstream? Here we have to consider the focal company or the company we are talking about. Let's say we are talking about distributor, or distributor is our focal company. From distributor point of view, manufacturers and suppliers are their upstream supply chain members. Upstream supply chain members. While retailers and consumer customers are their downstream supply chain members. Similarly, in the same way, if we are talking about manufacturers, so who will be the upstream members for manufacturer? If manufacturer would be considered as a focal company or the company we are talking about, then only suppliers are their upstream members, while distributor, retailer, and customers are their downstream members. So this concept is that simple. Now come to the second concept, that is about inbound and outbound. To understand what do we mean by inbound and outbound, let's consider a factory or a plant or facility. Whatever the material comes into the facility is inbound movement, while whatever the material goes out of the factory is called outbound material. Usually material comes from the upstream members and then goes out towards the downstream members. But sometimes we have situations in which materials comes, their returns from downstream members. This type of movement often called reverse logistics, and this is also an inbound movement, and we can say that this is inbound from downstream. And while this inbound movement, which is a primary flow, we can say this inbound from upstream. Similarly, there would be situation in which we return or the factory returns the inbound shipments due to quality issues or any other expiry or sort of thing like that. Such movement is called outbound movement towards upstream member. Remember, as we have already said, the return of shipment is a part of the term reverse logistics, which we will be discussing at the later part of this course. Now, the next concept is supply chain macro views. This concept will provide a glimpse of the spread of supply chain function. In any organization, the supply chain function can be divided into four distinct areas. Number one, SRM. Number two, ISCM. Number three, CRM. And the fourth part is information system, that is ERP, the backbone of information. SRM means supplier relationship management, where we deal with upstream members like suppliers of goods and services. And in SRM, we deal with supplier selection, purchasing, negotiation, and collaboration, and things like that. While in CRM, we deal with downstream customers, distribution of goods, maintaining a good relationship with customer. At this stage, marketing and sales operations are in close coordination and often share views and few responsibilities depending upon firm structure. ISCM, internal supply chain management, means internal operations that is directly controlled by the firm. This involves material planning, production related issues, resource allocation, etc. While ERP or information system, it is a platform where progress of information is collected, progress of material, where it is and distributed, and all the stakeholders are in the loop to get timely information. A good information exchange platform provides better visibility and transparency in the supply chain. All these macro views of supply chain have a lot of depth to understand individually. This unit provides you some reference points that what is supply chain is all about.